Okay, welcome everybody to this little connecting session. We have been struggling a bit with knowing if we need translation, and I don't know how to ask that because I don't speak Portuguese.
Ok. A Liv Larson está a perguntar se alguém necessita de tradução para português. A Galina, Jorge, não sei, talvez o Jorge, português.
Hello, hello. This is George in Luisa. Can you hear me?
Sim,
Good. Okay. I'm struggling here with the camera. Can you see me? Not yet.
No, we
Okay.
cannot see. So the question was for, did you want to have, did you need translation or not?
I don't need translation.
ok.
Okay. Yeah, finally. Yes.
Boa tarde. Hello.
Olá.
Hello. So I invite us to maybe some of you have a busy day, and maybe your head is full of thoughts around what you did just before the meeting. So I like you to come to this moment and maybe put a hand on your heart and maybe to put two hands on your heart, whatever is supporting you to connect with this moment. And instead of thinking of all the things you've done today or the things you're going to do, just focus for a moment on your body. Just noticing how it is to actually have a body, to arrive to this moment and letting go of stuff from the day and just becoming presently here in your body. And for me and for many people, it really helps to take a few deep breaths. So do that as well if it helps you arrive into the moment. And just kind of notice if at this moment you have a sense of high energy or low energy. At this moment, not trying to judge it as good or bad, but just notice, do you have high energy or a bit lower energy? Just noticing. And also noticing if you're enjoying how it feels in this moment or if you're not enjoying it. Just notice that. And then if you can, just find an emotion word, a word for an emotion that is most close to where you are right now. What are the emotion words that mostly describe where you are in this moment? Maybe it's one word or two, just notice. And you probably notice that emotions also shift and turn in a few seconds. You might feel something else, but just notice, keep noticing inside. And then see if that word for an emotion points you to some need you have at the moment. Is this emotion helping you realize that this is a need of mine that is there, either met or not met? Don't make it a problem, but just notice it that, wow, an emotion can really help me connect to what I'm needing. And if you would like to, please take a few moments and write in the chat just maybe a word for an emotion and a word for a need, just so that we can have a sense of what do we arrive into this little gathering meeting with? What did we bring with us? So just do that, staying with yourself, but naming it so that the rest of us can know where you are. And maybe as the people are taking the time to find the words, maybe you want to look in the chat and then look at the face of the person. Maybe this is a person you're soon gonna meet. Just kind of see if those words that are written, if you can connect them with the person to get a sense of who this person is. And I just welcome everybody in whatever state you're in. If you're tired or energized or whatever you are, we're not here to pretend to be something else than what we are. That's the whole point, I think, to find communication that where we can show up and be kind of real, where we can show up and get support and give support, where we can connect with ourselves and connect with others. And for me, those IITs are beautiful, extended training in doing a lot of diving into connecting with ourselves and connecting with others. So this was a very small start of that. So we actually don't have very much prepared for the coming session, but we thought we wanted just to present ourselves as the team, and then hear if there are questions and maybe give a few tips of how you can use this month before the IIT in Portugal starts. How can you come prepared to get the most out of your investment of time and energy and money? How can you actually use the time until then in the best possible way? But first, so I'll start. I'm one of the trainers for this IIT. So we are doing the preparations together. We met for a few months and meeting, discussing different angles and preparing ourselves. And I'm from the north of Sweden. I'm just at the Arctic Circle. There's still full snow, full winter where I live. I have just been out skiing today to get a little bit of the winter month of fresh air and cool, nice air. And I have done, I don't know, I probably should one of those days count how many IITs I've been doing, but I've been an NVC trainer for the last 25 years or so. And those long trainings that IITs are is like one of my favorites because it's not only about teaching sessions or it's not only about us sharing something and participants taking something in, but it's a chance for all of us to come together and kind of learn from each other because communication is not something we learn on our own. Human connection, human communication is of course something we learn with others. So this is one of my favorite ways to do that. And we do that, eat lunch together, we eat dinner together, we take walks together, we dance together, we sing together, or whatever we like to do. And we have sessions with different themes that we dive deep into. So that's me. I throw the ball to Dimitri.
Thank you, Liv. Yeah, my name is Dmitry, and I'm coming from Slovenia, and we have no snow. So the spring is starting here, probably not as much as in Portugal, but still it's the weather outside. It's really getting warmer and nice. And the gardening, it's one of my occupations that I also enjoy, apart from being in the NVC world. And yeah, I completely completely relate with what you said about the IITs still. So I'm a little bit less years in an NVC world, but I'm still enjoying every moment of it. And I also am enjoying the long, like many days trainings. So the IITs, like 9 days being together, it's yeah, I really enjoy that. This is not like something just we do for a few hours or a day or two, but we really come together and try to live the spirit of NVC. And I can imagine it can be quite intense, even for me as a trainer. And also, I probably every year or every second year, I like to be a participant as well. So it's still very important for me that it's not just standing where we are, but just learning. And it's, yeah, I'm really enjoying the people. I know some trainers that just like to learn, or some people just like to learn. I really like to be with people. And one of the things is enjoy that we can offer some continuum like that. So it's not just about learning, it's also about changing. So I've seen myself changing. So probably if I wouldn't go to the 9 event, it was in southern France, so 9 event like that, I probably wouldn't be kind of chatting with you right now here, but because it's changed me, it dragged me so much in, and I was changed. And there is a lot of learning as well. It's not just about the change, but I really like this spirit of being together, living as a community for 9 days. Yeah, that's me for short, and I can do for Gerardo.
Hi, I'm Gerardo, or Gerardo, whatever, or Gerard in French.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I'm in Madrid, in Spain. It's been 3 weeks, really cold. Well, I mean, my really cold is probably lives warm. It's 13 degrees and I'm cold, okay? A lot of rain, and I'm from Mexico originally, but I've lived in Spain for 30 years, I think. Um, and I'm a certified trainer, and I'm assessor with the assessors team of Spain. Um, and I'm really looking forward to going to the IIT, participating, making contribution of my experience, and learning from you all, um, learning from our time together. I tell myself that I'm a loner, so my tendency is to just enjoy being by myself. And when I'm with people, I realize how much I enjoy being with people. So I'm really looking forward to meeting needs for shared reality, meaning, connection, community, belonging, contribution, support, um, togetherness, and exploring our humanity, which is something that I find the most nourishing. And yeah, that's me. And I'll throw the ball to Pedro.
Thank you very much. Well, I'm Pedro. I live in Portugal, very in the north of Portugal. I'm recently a certified trainer, and I'm organizing this IIT with Will, Nelia, and Tamara. To present myself, as Gerardo said, I love very much my being with me, and also I love very much to connect with others and to learn with this connection, to learn with this experience of change with other people. Since I participated in an IIT in Spain, it was for me a great experience, and since then I had this dream to may have this event in Portugal, because it's profoundly changing, profoundly self-discovering to me. To see the conflict, to see the in other way the conflicts, because I had many conflicts in my life. So the NVC was a treasure to me. Well, and I'm very excited to be in this travel, and the IIT is coming soon. And I pass the ball to my wonderful colleague, Wilnelia.
Hi, I'm Wilnelia. I'm one of the organizers. I'm noticing that I'm feeling very nervous. Yeah, it's all over my face. I can feel it. And I'm very excited as well. Right now I'm in Portugal, in 25 minutes away from Lisbon. I've been living here for 3 years and 6 months. The weather is terrible. Like Gerardo said, there is no spring yet. It keeps raining and pouring. So hopefully it will go away and it will get more warm soon. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sensing on my face like, oh, what I'm gonna say now? It's like, oh. And I have so much resonance with Dimitri. NVC changed my life. And I used to live in Thailand, so I used to have my NVC community was Indian. So it's I used to go for convention, which was 5 days, and then I did IIT, and even 5 days to 9 days, it was life changing. I could finally understand what was the most important was to connect with myself before connecting with others, and I couldn't have the space to be with others until I had my own space. And so from time to time, I'm actually still struggling with that, to be with myself, because I can tell that sometimes I slept with my beloved, and even it's still difficult to come back to myself and breathe. And I'm still very much grateful to NVC for that, and to have this community. Yeah, so it's me for now. So Tamara, would you like to speak?
Thank you, Wilnelia. My name is Tamara. I'm also one of the organizers. I'm originally from Croatia, but currently I live in Portugal in beautiful Azores, where it's currently quite cold and windy, but okay. Yeah, I found out NVC after one heartbreaking period in my life, and I really, back then I was reading the books, watching the YouTube videos, really soaking in everything, and that's how I actually met Dmitry, because I wanted to have some NVC workshop in Croatia, and back then, I don't know how it's now, but back then there was no certified trainer, so I found Dmitry from Slovenia, and yeah, this friendship continued on. So we are now in this movie, and I'm very happy for this. And I feel also sad because I will not be with you now in this IIT. And I will not be with you because of one happy reason, and it's because I have a little baby here. I need to take care of her needs. Yeah, and looking forward for the continuation of this meeting. Thank you.
And who is next?
Is that a question for Tamara? Like, who is she passing the ball to? I think we've all done.
Well, is Rina still here or no?
No, she's not.
She fell out. Yeah. Okay. Yes, we have a trainer called Rina Jinvala from India, and she was just with us, but she fell out. There was, I guess, both connection challenges, and she might come back. We'll see. You get to know her as well. She's one of my colleagues in we do a 1 year mediation program, which is part of that team. And I know mediation is one of her areas where she really thrives and like to work on. But she will probably say more if she comes back. Yeah. After you guys hearing the team presenting ourselves, I'm curious if you want to use the chat again and maybe putting a need that either a need that is met or a need that you would like to have more met just by being here together at this moment. Just also to make it a habit to connect with our needs. Like every now and then check in, where am I now? What's there for me? What's in my focus? So use the chat, see if you can find a word that describes what you are either celebrating needs met or that a need you would love to have more met. And I'm just going to be silent for a moment so that anyone that wants to do that can do that. And of course, it's scary to be first, but someone needs to. Right. So before we open up for questions, we also thought we wanted to share something more. And if you please keep sharing in the chat if you need more time. We thought of sharing a few of our own experience of what helped us get the most out of this 9-day training. What did we do beforehand, during the training, afterwards? And we'll see if there are anything. And I can start. I did when I first found NVC. I did trainings with Marshall, was the guy behind NVC. He did those IITs at the time, and I took 3 in a very short time. 3 trainings back to back almost. And when I came to the third one, I realized that I got the most out of that because I prepared a few different categories. I prepared questions I wanted to have answered at the IIT, not necessarily someone else's answers. Maybe I wanted someone's take on what does connection mean. But it was also questions I wanted to have answered for myself. So I made a list of that. I made a list of role plays I wanted to do, or and or situations I wanted to work on. Because I realized that when I went into those long trainings, it was like the normal life was forgotten. So it was hard to remember. But as I had written it down, I could go back to that in the evening and I thought, oh, tomorrow I'm going to work with this thing with my boss or with my friend or with my partner to get the support from others to kind of learn from it. So I wrote a list of questions I wanted to answer, more, theoretical questions. And then I wrote a list of real examples I wanted to work on. And I also uh, wrote a specific list on how do I want to know, how do I want, how can I learn something that helps me become more of a better friend for myself? How can I become a better friend to myself? What are the things that I can look at, learn, the inner dialogue, the physical needs, and so on? How can I keep track of that? So that was my three things that I went back to kind of remember to use the time in the best possible way. So that's one of the things I'd like to send with you to do this month. Like prepare because you're going to get more out of the training. And we want you to get as much as possible out of these days for sure. Yeah. Pedro.
Yeah, thank you. Just to present that Andrea Carvalho and Nuno are here, and they will be the interpreters of the IIT. And if someone needs or some translation, just to say that.
Nuno,
Nuno, Andrea.
Where was the third person?
Nuno and Andrea Carvalho.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So anyone else that has any tips for how we get the most out of the IIT before we open up for questions from you who is here?
Hmm.
Share.
Sorry, Dimitri, go on, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to share this. There's three letters in the name. It's called IIT, and one of them is intensive. So I'm sure it's going to be a lot of offerings, and there is quite a long day. So it starts in the morning, even before breakfast, with some activities. Some of them are offered by the participants as well, and it can end quite late. So the last evening workshop can end like at 10 o'clock. And there is a lot of people you want to hang out and stuff like that. And one of them kind of most enjoyable learning, and still is, it's not like it's complete and I'm done. It's first of all, how can I not attend to something? So because there is so much interesting and there is so much opportunity to learn and so much opportunity to hang with people and, just like talking with a lot of empathy present and kind of just connection with people that is built up in that community. Sometimes it's hard to say no. So one of the practices that I'm actually doing, it's also what I say, it comes with integrity of NVC consciousness. It's how to practice to say no to attending to something that really does not support me. So I'm actually practicing how to satisfy my need for self-care in that matter as well. So it's so much, it's so rich, and sometimes, yeah, and the body and mind and soul need some rest. So that's my suggestion, or just, yeah, how it works for me. And Gerardo.
Yeah, thank you. What I find helpful is visualizing how I would like to experience the IIT and aligning my vision with the intention to connect and to an intention of acceptance, of openness, and I believe this aligning my intention with my vision sets the ground for having that experience, or increasing the likelihood, the probability that I will have that experience. That's it. Thank you.
Any other suggestions for how to get the most out of our time together?
Andrea has
Hi,
her hand raised.
everyone. Very nice to see you and to meet you finally. I've been in a YIT in 2022 in Ireland, the first one after COVID. Well, it was a very challenging YIT, but it was life-changing for me. And so if I could look back and give some advice or from my experience, maybe it would be going with openness to the YIT. It's very intensive, and going with the will to work on ourselves because if we are open, the insights and everything else will appear easily. And thinking about that, there are deep feelings that can arrive. And sometimes in moments in dynamics that we are not expecting that to happen. So I think it's very important give space to that feelings. And sometimes I'm thinking about what Dimitri has said. And we can have these mixed feelings about, oh, I want to do a workshop, but this is being so hard for me, what I'm feeling right now. So give space to take care of ourselves when some of these appears. And after, from my experience, I know I have this feeling that it will be a safe place to have these experiences, and I'm sure that will be someone that can give some empathy and support each of us during the YIT. Thank you.
Does anyone else? Juliana.
Juliana.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be with you all in this space here, and looking forward to be with you all in person. I had just attended the IIT in India in February in Panchgani, and I so enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward now as I come to this IIT in Portugal to really live the consciousness of being connected to beloved divine energy in me, that presence at every moment, and being conscious, trying to be conscious of that same beloved divine energy in everyone there who I encounter. So I'm also excited that in this IIT, there will be an opportunity for me to learn from all of you, especially from the trainers, and also to serve. I'm grateful because I have been invited as a supporting trainer, and so I'm looking forward to serving whatever needs do arise in the moment to the best of my ability. And yeah, so I'm really excited just to tell you all to be there and to be with all of you. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you. Vilnelia, I know you from India. I know Liv also from India. I know Rina also, but I phoned Rina. She's not taken my call. Just I sent her a message. I don't know why she's missing, but these are very dear people who I have met, and really value the connection with all of you. Thank you, Vilnelia. Thank you. Thank you, Liv.
Thank you. So, are we ready to hear if there are any questions that things you want clarification around, or was there more on the advice of how to prepare?
Yeah, I have a question. I'm trying to find a little bit the agenda and what are the kind of topics that will be brought. I don't find it anymore. I saw it once, but yeah, if somebody can put the link where I can find it back. I had a little bit of fear it was all about conflict, and that's not something I'm often in, so it's like very uncomfortable.
So I'd love to say a few things about how the IIT is kind of done. And it is that we have usually a theme for each day, and maybe it's written on the website or not. Can someone?
Don't find it.
Yeah. And then usually, even if we have a theme of the day, might be, for example, empathy, empathic listening. Then some of us trainers will offer simultaneously, so you will need to be able to choose. Maybe one session on empathy um, with a certain theme to it, and another one with another theme of empathy with another angle to it. And then a third trainer might offer something totally different. So just because we have a theme of every day, we might not do all the sessions related to that, because we also want to stay open to what you come into the IIT with. So there's going to be like a place where you can post requests, and usually those requests become clear after a few days. Like, I want you to do NVC in the workplace, for example. Can someone bring a session on that? Can someone do a session on NVC and children? Can someone do a session on NVC? And for me, one of the themes I work a lot with is shame, like how shame affects our communication and our relationship. So I will usually offer a session on that, for example. And I know we all have, so we come prepared with, having three as many sessions as we can give. And we try to, so every IIT will actually be different because of you, because who is there. But there will be some similarities as well on every IIT. And there will be usually a foundation track if people that come are more new. And then there will be some more advanced sessions for people who already have the foundation skills in there. Am I answering your question?
Yes, very much. Thank you. And thank you, Pedro, for sharing the link. Yeah.
I see Jorge, or the person who's with Jorge has a question, has their hand raised.
Okay, this is George. Thank you. So it is in fact about the foundations. I'm pretty new on these topics, and I would like to start with I would say a good path to have the foundation, so I can grow, understand, and to have the proper interaction. So my request for I would say a good balance between interaction with you and to have the proper foundation. That is my hesitation right now.
Yeah. So usually there is a foundation track that starts like from maybe from the start of the IIT, and it goes for 1, 2, or 3 days, depending on who is there and so on. To make sure that yes, that you have all your answers, all your questions answered to like those foundation, the ideas we talk about using in NVC. For example, empathic listening, or how to express honestly with the basis of, so that will be there for sure. And I really love that you talk about it, because sometimes people are so rushed in getting into like deeper things or like, and they forget that if we don't have the basics, it's not going to be as solid. It's not going to be as useful to go into other more specific themes. So I'm glad you asked about that, and we're certainly going to serve you in that.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing your cat. I'm just having tender feelings looking at you. I'm a cat lover, and it's just so cute. Thank you.
Yeah, great. Any other questions? And thank you, Vinelia and Pedro, for sharing the different themes and so on.
May I add something about the question of George?
Sure.
Something that impacted me so much in my first IIT, besides the profound knowledge that was being sharing, I had opportunity to see conflicts between the trainers. Yes, there was real conflicts between the trainers, and I could see with my eyes how they managed the conflicts. And this was this touched me so much, because the conflicts wasn't avoided at all. They were there in face of us, and this was the big learning I had in the IIT.
Wow. So we need to pick a fight.
Yeah, I'm already making a list of the things I don't like about people.
Great. I will do the same. No, it is true. It's a beautiful opportunity to come together with people that are, curious about how does conflict come about? Whose responsibility is it to resolve it? And how can different things be done so that we learn from it and not be so scared about it? And of course, also be scared about it and still stay and be supported and held. It is a good opportunity, and we'll see if there is going to be some. Mia, I see your hand up.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for presenting this. And thank you, Wilnelia, in the chat posted the themes of the day. And I wonder, Liv, if you and your fellow trainers could maybe elaborate a little bit more beyond just the name of it, of what that means to you and the type of sessions that might be offered. And also maybe kind of the breakdown between the part of teaching that is the presenting versus the part that is practice, and what sorts of practice might you imagine us doing in those sorts of things?
Dimitri, do you want to go first? Starting the list? Would that
Yeah,
be?
as soon as I find the mute button, I can start. Yeah, what I really enjoy, it's I really like to play the embodied part. So it's kind of just being present at the moment, knowing that we have a body, and kind of staying with that. So usually what I do, it's mostly exercises. So it's kind of, usually it's quite, I said like 20% theory, 70% of exercises, and 10% of reflection, but that's like just playing with the numbers. And I also, what I like to present, it's to play a little bit with how to learn and have fun. So now just, we know that coming with some deep awareness of some emotions, it can be quite emotionally intense, and it's fine. It's some parts of the learning can go deep, and we can open up, and there's a lot of tears and stuff like that. And I enjoy that one, but still I enjoy that a lot of parts that is including learning of NVC and building up capacity to empathize with people. It's connected to have some fun. So I really, like the last 5, maybe 6 years, I'm exploring different ways how to introduce having some play and fun also met during these exercises. And I know that kind of 9 days just sitting a lot, it's not healthy by my opinion, but it's also, I really enjoy using some movement in my workshops, so kind of my sessions doing that. I'm also playing with an idea of kind of eros in that sense of how to kind of engage our life energy. So we know, like a play, we can have a lot of energy into some compassion, and we can have a lot of energy into some passion in that way. And how to combine this flow of life between passion and compassion in a way. And there is more, like it's a lot of exercises that I'm really keen on, and most of it I really enjoy including our bodies into that. Yeah, I hope I revealed a little bit of something. So maybe Liv, would you like to share what is your way?
Yeah, to me as well, I think the beautiful thing in coming together is to do to simulate, to work on exercises rather than understanding only theoretical parts. So yes, I agree with about the same numbers as Dimitri, like 80% of practicing. And usually it starts with some speaking about a theme, and then we dive into it. And then we hope that you continue talking at dinner breaks, for example, or about themes, so that it kind of gets into different angles. But also, Mia, I heard you were curious about the different themes of the day, how it would look. Is that correct? Yeah. So day one, Marshall made this he came up with this word, liberation from culture crap. And he named it that. So if you have heard Marshall on YouTube and so on, you know that he likes to kind of use those kind of things to make us react like, I don't have any culture crap in me. But he was kind of pointing at the things we've learned that is not so much serving us, the the ways to deal with, for example, conflict, but also our way of thinking. So that first day, usually we have exercises around the whole group, like how do we come together and what is there in the way for us, and how to hold each other and ourselves. And I would say day two, scary honesty, would be to maybe, for example, set up an exercise where you want to bring up a theme with someone. Maybe you want to tell a friend that you think they are exaggerating so much that you don't know how to trust them. How can you say that? How can you say that and still keep warm towards the person? So we set up that, and we practice that. We look at the different angles to that, for example. So bring a lot of scary honesty examples so that you can, and of course, sometimes there's scary honesty to complain about this trainer that speaks too much, or, it can also be, some other scary honesty. Yeah, and it's the same with dynamics of empathy, like having exercises where we would maybe practice where it's really difficult to hear someone with empathy. How can I hear when someone is complaining about things I do, or how can I still hear them with empathy? Are we getting close, Mia, to your? Are you curious to hear more? Yeah. Anyone else that wants to share more about that, or should I continue? Gerardo, do you want to say? Yeah.
Yeah, I can share. Thank you, Liv. Yeah, within the topics of the day that they're on the chat, you can look at them. I find connected topics that that are part of this bigger topic of the day. For example, when it comes to social change. I connect forgiveness with social change because sometimes when we think about social change or just change in general, there might be some reaction where I want to change because there's something that I don't like about what I'm seeing or experiencing. And because of our culture crap, we're used to wanting to change that in a certain way. And with NVC, I've learned that it's important for me to come to make peace, to be peaceful with that we want to change, in order that we can transform it rather than, changing it to whatever we want it to look like. And for that to happen, I need to find within myself a space where I experience forgiveness. So I link, for example, forgiveness with social change. Or I'm also very passionate about NVC, making it sound natural so that people don't, when you hear sometimes people speaking in giraffe, and it sounds like, sometimes creates more disconnection than connection. So I have certain suggestions about how to make it sound more natural, and practices with specific structures that are not the when I see, I feel, because I need, etc., that give people more flexibility to both in expressing or in reflecting or in expressing empathy. And so I would connect that to scary honesty, maybe, or to empathy. I will, weave that naturalizing NVC in within the topics of the day, and so on. Okay, so that's a bit of what I would like to share. And Rina, I don't know if Rina, she's back,
Yeah,
but I
very
don't know
heartening.
how good your connection is, Rina. And
Yeah, during the day it was great, and now suddenly not. But I look forward to.
okay, so
Oh.
it sounds like it is not great today. The connection. Oh, she's back.
I suggest we get to meet Rina when we meet in Portugal, if it's too hard to listen. And maybe you want to write something in the chat, Rina. Just we would love to include you, but we cannot hear you. So I'm curious if there are more questions, or if you want to, if you, Mia, got all kind of an idea of how this can look.
I really appreciated everything that was shared. If there's time, I'd love to hear about the other topics too, but I understand that other people may have other questions.
Well, let's see if there are. Otherwise, I'm willing to share more. Okay, let's share a few more things then. So for me, for example, on the day where we do healing and transformation, as I said before, I focus a lot on how shame affects us, how shame stops us from being honest, shame stops us from being compassionate. So that kind of healing work, which is not like healing something because it's broken. It's just healing the patterns, or healing the our communication skills that have gotten a little bit squashed because we don't know how to deal with when our nervous system is so affected by emotions of shame, for example. And I do it's not we don't do therapy in the IIT. It's not like we're not saying we're now working with therapy, but it's very therapeutic. Many of the sessions we do, it's healing in itself. It's like helping us be more accepting to each other and ourselves. And so I guess there are more things that will be happening during that day from other trainers as well. And I can say something about the next day as well, and maybe someone else wants to talk about the other days. I can talk about the mediation or schools. So when we have the day for mediation, I often share like some mediation games, some games around mediation where people can jump in and be part, and even if you never seen yourself as a mediator, as a third party, you will still be invited to play with that. How would it be if you would be the third party in a conflict, and if you would want to be of help? So we look at that through practice and then talk about what can more be discovered around that. And of course, all of the themes, we could go like 10 days for each theme, but we're just having a little bit of taste of different parts. Who else wants to say something about the other days?
Yeah, I can go with my favorite topics. We usually say if you don't learn anything about the conflicts or mediation or anything, and if you learn just about the gratitude part, you have used your time in any kind of education. So yeah, just what I really love is to be important that NVC is not to be used just in the conflicts or when we have kind of unpleasant emotions and stuff like that. It's also for me really an amazing tool how to express gratitude and how to be really grateful when people do something that they meet our needs. And how can we make requests out of our needs being met to be met even more, even met next time. So it's kind of, yeah, and it's very easy to learn and share that part usually. And it's also kind of tricky, kind of receiving the gratitude. So, it's like people, when you express gratitude in any kind of way, and people say, oh, it's nothing, or, oh, it's just my job. So it's kind of, in some way, it can also be difficult to receive. And also, how much gratitude can you actually have to yourself? I find quite often very difficult people to say, okay, I'm grateful to myself to do something. And yeah, just learning and sharing that in a workshop, in a groups, for me, it's really an enriching topic. So, Liv, thank you for leaving me the last juicy part of that. Expressing how gratitude is important for me. So, Gerardo, would you like to share something as well?
Yeah, thank you. In the topic of parenting, I noticed now. Okay, I have a daughter who's now 25 years old, and we have a lovely, lovely, lovely relationship and connection. And when she was younger, and I was more in the bringing up process, I noticed how much influence how I related to my inner child had on how I related to her. So in combination with self-empathy but self-empathy, and very specifically looking at my inner child and how I connect, how I can, how open I am to my inner child has a big impact on parenting. I like putting these two topics together sometimes. So that would be an example of kind of tangent way to stay within topic and explore something that is very connected to the topic, that will enrich my skills within the topic. So that's another example. And like Dimitri was saying, I like experiential learning more than teaching, like speaking or presenting things. And also Liv mentioned this. Maybe there's a little bit of theory or a few instructions and then the exercise and the learning through the doing is, for me, that's very important. Yeah. And I'm noticing that Mia has written that she loves mediation in schools, and if it's possible to have more than one day, and it's possible to do both. Yeah, like Liv said, there's going to be a place where you put requests, and we will be reading the requests and adapting what's happening. And hopefully a lot of your requests will be, sure, they will be taken in with interest and care, and hopefully will be also attended in the delivery of the specific workshops.
Anything else that wants to be asked or shared?
George has, or
Now it's Louisa time.
okay.
Hello. So I have one question. So I'm completely new about NCV. In fact, I heard about it the first time this weekend because me and George came across a workshop. So we went together on Saturday. It was about communicate, to connect, and also power up. And we found both this issue about NCV so interesting that we are here. And one thing that I would like to know, one thing that I have the knowledge about myself is that sometimes the times in which I have more difficulty in practicing non-violent communication is when I'm triggered, my trigger. So what I would like to know is that if this topic will be attended to. I'm sure it will be within 9 days because triggers, I think, but well, for myself at least, are very powerful in getting me out of the path I want to choose, So if you could speak something about it, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure that is going to be part of a lot of different sessions. Like, what do we do when we feel stuff that it feels like I'm, someone else is doing something, and my thought is that someone else is doing this, and it feels like I'm triggered, and I don't know what to do. So it's gonna be that is part of everything, I think, and as well as with Mia, what she was saying, if you after 3 or 4 days don't have a sense that we're bringing a focus on that, you ask for that because then I'm sure we all have tools and different angles how to deal with that. I have come to be really, really curious about what we call triggers in NVC, because when we look at the brain, when we look at what is actually happening when we feel triggered, uh, we are actually not triggered, but it feels like we're triggered. But there is actually a process where we kind of prepare ourselves for the next moment more than that we're triggered from the moment before. So to me, that has been one of my the last, and Dimitri knows this because we worked together quite some times, and that I've really put some interest in how emotions are created. How do they come about in our system? Where do they start and why? What can we use them for? So I am sure I am going to talk about it. But if you're in my session or not, I don't know, because you're all gonna be in different sessions because you're gonna choose different things. But it's one of my favorite things, so I am sure that we're gonna address it somehow. Is that supportive to hear, or where are you with that?
Yes, I think so. Because it's like what you said. I know, in fact, I'm not being threatened, but my body and my nervous system perceives it like a threaten. So this
Exactly.
is the key. And theoretically, I understand that, but then all my body, you know.
Yeah.
So this is so important, as well as the correlation, co-regulation of the nervous system.
Yeah.
So these are topics that I would appreciate to get into deep knowledge.
Great. And I'm glad you already know that you are not triggered, but that it doesn't really help to know it, in our heads. But what do we do with it? How do we live
Yeah.
it? How do we use our wisdom in order to actually communicate in ways that supports us? So yeah, I'm already enjoying this exchange. I could continue for a few hours speaking about this, but we're not going to.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anything else before I guess we're going towards some kind of closure? But if there are more questions, please ask them.
Mia has her hand raised.
I have a question, knowing that there's a broad breadth of people who have maybe never done NVC before or done a little bit, and those of us who have been taking classes for a couple of years and things like that. And my guess is that people will be choosing based on the topic and their connection with the trainer and things like that. So in each class, I would imagine there'd be a broad breadth of experience. And can you speak a little bit to how you manage that within the topic and the exercises?
Any takers? I think I've been talking so much, so I.
Like Liv said at the beginning, there's going to be a track for people with less experience. And besides that, I guess, Mia, your question is not only that there is a track for beginners, but once we have what we call different skills levels within the group, how we're going to deal with that. What comes to mind is basically, I mean, NVC is a way of naming processes and experiences in a certain that are human, and that we all share. So rather than being too focused on jargon or how certain processes are designed in NVC, we can look beyond that and just look at the human experience and be able to bring our humanness to whatever activity we're bringing. And when we do that, I think skills levels kind of become more diffuse when there's the human experience that's being shared and learned from. Does that make sense, Mia?
It does make sense, but I just wanted to clarify that I didn't so much mean about jargon, but more about culture crap. I think that the more we've been doing the NVC work, the easier it is to let go of some of that. And when people are newer, it sometimes intrudes on their experience more, has been what I've observed when I've worked with people with a range of skills. Does that make sense? I don't know if that's.
When you say culture crap, you mean like using labels without awareness that we're using labels, or maybe demands without awareness that we're using demands and so on. Is that
Yeah, giving advice or various other
giving
things
advice?
where they don't even realize that they're doing it because it's just so ingrained and they're not recognizing it. That stuff like that.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of problem with my connection, but I have another answer to you, Mia. Uh, Usually when there is the foundation track, I usually do sessions that I call advanced, meaning I want to make sure that the people that is doing the foundation don't get tempted to go to something that is not going to be the foundation. So that is usually, but that's actually the first 3 days. And then after that, it usually kind of jives pretty well because of the surrounding that everyone that comes has a willingness to kind of learn. Even if people are new to it, it usually blends very well. It's my experience anyway. Thank you, Mia.
Yeah, I just want to share that I noticed like this kind of introduction track that even I, when I go to some other trainer and I see how other people kind of offering this introduction track, I can learn still some things. I can learn from seeing things from different perspectives. And if you are into sharing NVC to other people, you can also learn different styles. So it's just being in the beginner's track, or I'd call the introduction track, you can also see other ways of how you can learn to share, or how can you see different perspective, like a giraffe with a long neck seeing from a different perspective.
Thank you, Dimitri. I see that Nuno has his hand raised.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, it's kind of also related to Mia's question, and I'm not a trainer. I do have, I say, somewhat training in NVC, and I've been to quite a lot of training, I'd say. And my experience is there will be people attending whatever training with different experiences. Some people might believe they have more experience and be in an advanced in an advanced session. And my experience is, as what I think I heard from Dimitri, it's been quite enriching to me in a long term to be able to live that. So to live in a richer environment where there's people with more training and people with less training, and that way I believe we can help each other. And and also I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot during those sessions, thinking maybe it wouldn't be as enriching to be with someone with less expertise, and found out maybe it was even better than I expected, and maybe better than if I had participated with people with more experience than me. I don't know if does this kind of address your initial question? Okay, thank you.
Okay, so it looks like we could start moving towards checkout. So I'd like to ask before we do that, if there are any questions or anything that you would like to share.
Yeah, maybe there is a part of me that gets quite nervous in seeing the day agenda because I don't feel a lot connection with the mediation or school topic, or parenting topic or social change, I'm like, whoa. So I get afraid when I see that.
Scared that you won't get the most out of the days, is that?
Yes, I would like to get the most out of it. So I was wondering, did I subscribe to the right course or
Yes.
event?
And this is true. But this is like the foundation that Marshall gave us, that the IITs is built on. So every IIT actually has that. But in some groups, there are people who say, well, we all want to learn about mediation, so then there will be a lot of that. And in other groups, it says nobody's interested in that, but they are interested in relationships, how to build deep relationships. So then you are the more all of you that is coming prepared with requests, the more we will adjust to that, the more we will and usually my experience is that that everyone finds something.
Okay. And are there people in your team that work in corporate organizations with nonviolent communication?
Yeah. I think we all in some way. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's more my environment, so yeah. Feel more comfortable than schools.
Yeah, and more interesting for you.
For me, yeah.
Not only comfortable, but interesting. It's like where you are and where you're acting and so that's great. So you see, it's going to be an interactive, we're not going to have sessions if you guys are not interested in them. We are going to do sessions that you guys are interested in. So that for sure, it's like a common thing that we build together.
And listening to you, Greet, am I pronouncing your name correctly, Greet?
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Yeah.
I think it's important, like Liv was saying, to maybe bring some requests, and the more specific it can be, the better. In the sense that, for example, if you bring, I'd like to know about NVC and the corporate world. Yes, but that's very wide.
Yeah.
So, if you bring like specific areas of interest, whereas it be motivation or feedback or conflict between departments, things like that, I think it will be more helpful.
Yeah, I will think of that. Thanks.
That's great.
Elsa has her hand raised.
Thank you so much. I was just would like to ask if the course is fully booked, or if there's anybody completely new to NVC and wants to get in last minute. Is it possible? Because maybe I have someone, that's why I'm asking.
No, we still have space, and we would love for you guys to spread it as much as possible. I don't know exactly. I think Vernelia and Pedro probably knows most how many beds there still are.
Yeah.
Like how much space there is. So maybe, I don't know if you want to answer that right now, or if you just want to.
Maybe by mail. Okay.
By an email, yeah. I know there's space, so there's you. That would be great.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. Gerardo, do you want to do the checkout? Or do you want to let us leave the conversation in a certain way?
Yes, I'm willing to do that.
Great.
And probably a brief checkout about, or just expressing. At the beginning, we expressed a feeling and a need, and maybe that has changed now. For example, I can start. I'm experiencing a lot more connection right now, so I'm feeling grateful. And I'm looking forward to meeting you in person. And then I'm going to name the person on the screen myself, because I think that's easier to keep track. Otherwise, I might name someone that has already spoken, or I find it more agile. Okay. So I will ask Vilnelia to check out, and then Pedro.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm feeling calm, actually. And I really enjoyed listening to everyone. So curiosity was met, connection, and acknowledgement as well.
Thank you. Pedro, and then Dimitri.
Thank you. I'm feeling much more connected and much excited to meet you in Algarve next April. Very excited.
Okay.
And Dimitri.
Dimitri, and then Juliana.
Pedro took all of my best feelings. No, I'm still feeling tired. But yeah, I'm even more excited, like seeing you and just starting to imagine that this is a real thing and it's happening very soon. It's not so much time. It's quite alive in me just to enjoying the connection here and looking forward to deepen that in the real world, not on the Zoom. So that's me.
Thank you. Juliana and Luisa and George, and I can hear your cat purring.
Yes, thank you so much for all of the sharing. I'm feeling excited, looking forward to being in this beautiful space with all of you. Curious about how it's going to be, but really sure that it's going to be amazing. Somehow or the other, the energy of all of us, what we bring there is going to be something really I'm looking forward to. So thank you.
Thank you. Luisa, George, and then Mia.
So I will start. I'm feeling more relaxed now, and my need changes from self-knowledge to self-improvement. So continue on the self part. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm still on the. So I want to have some gaps to be filled in. So I need to digest this conversation that we had.
Thank you, George. Mia and Nuno.
Thank you, everyone, for this talk. I'm feeling grateful. I'm really looking forward to the IIT. I'm actually sort of transitioning out of a corporate job and into things more related to mediation schools, other things like that. And I'm very much on an exploring journey where, as I experience and practice different things, it's helping me chart my path. And I'm really looking forward to being with all of you and practicing and learning.
Thank you. Nuno and Lavinia.
Yeah, I'm also feeling quite curious and excited with the upcoming IIT, and I'm also feeling a bit agitated because I need to take a pee soon. So I think I have an unmet need for well-being, I guess.
That's an important strategy, Nuno, to meet the well-being, the need for well-being. Okay. Lavinia and Elsa.
Hello. I was curious to hear more details about the training, and I need to say what needs were accomplished this evening, or
If you want, yes.
I liked to see people from many places, to see like a community, like common things we share this evening, like connecting to to a familiar to some familiar values.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Lavinia. Shared reality, yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good
Thank you.
evening.
Elsa and Andrea.
Hello. Thank you very much. It was really good to be with all of you, meeting you. I'm very anxious to be in person because I'm doing some trainings online with other with NVC Academy and Yoram and all of that, but I think it's completely different alive. So I'm very curious, and I think it will be much more deep. And I really think I need that. All of us, I think, need that to improve and to improve not ourselves, but ourselves and the others. The world really needs it to become a little bit better place. Thank you so much for organizing it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Elsa. Andrea and Greet.
Well, I'm feeling very excited by the opportunity of receiving you all here in Portugal for the very first time, NVC. There is not a lot of people that talk about NVC in Portugal, so I hope that this will be an opportunity to also create a Portuguese community for NVC. That is something that I've been missing in the last few years. And I'm feeling also very confident that, and with assurance that this YIT will be great for everybody that came here.
Thank you, Andrea. Greet and Dandokrov. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly.
Yeah, so I'm feeling really grateful for this session. Thank you very much because it fueled for me that feeling of connection. It brought this IIT alive. I'm feeling very grateful that I dared to share my fears, and on the other hand, I was happy that I felt heard, and that reassures me quite well to go into that IIT and with curiosity and openness.
Thank you. Dandokrov and Liv. Are you able to speak, Dandokrov? I don't know if Dandokrov is aware that I'm talking to him. Oh, yeah, you are. Just 1 second. Yeah.
We cannot hear you.
Oh, no, I think he's okay. Now he unmuted himself. And still we cannot. Oh, you muted yourself again. Now, try now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now, yes.
Yeah. Okay, sorry about that. I'm in the street, so it's not so easy. But yeah, I just wanted to say that I feel very grateful for the conversation we all had, and I got in touch with NVC several years ago, and I did two trainings back to back, pretty much. And because of life happening, I guess, and yeah, gradually I got disconnected from it, from NVC, but I regret it because I'm sure it would have helped me a lot in more than one occasion ever since. But yeah, to go to my feelings, I have the feeling of the safe place. I found myself in when I was doing those trainings several years ago, and it's a very nice feeling to feel this, to have this feeling again. And yeah, I know it's really an amazing place to express ourselves, to share feelings, and yes, always sure that we're going to receive listening, and we're going to be heard, and 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 from people around us with lots of empathy. So it's a very nice feeling, and I'm very happy, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Liv and Desiree.
Yeah, I'm also, I feel tired because it's evening, but I feel energized by just getting reminded that we're so many of us that wants to learn and communicate and connect and live together in different ways. I'm sure that many of us, right, in this moment of time, we kind of feel despair about the world. We feel despair about humans. I do. And every time I meet people that wants to kind of find other ways, I feel like I was wrong. There is so many of us. So I'm gonna have a good evening with that. That's me.
Thank you. And Desiree, if you are able to talk.
Yeah, I
Yes.
hope you can understand me. Can you?
Yes.
Okay. I'm actually very grateful for like your sharing, and I'm excited to learn more about NVC. And I feel nervous as well because I don't know what's gonna come up for myself in the training. And I'm aware that there's things that I don't know, and that scares me a little bit. But I'm overall like excited for this opportunity and also to meet more people from other parts of the world and connect in person.
Thank you, Desiree.
Thank you.
Well, thank you all. I guess this is it, right?
Yeah,
thank you
thank
very
you all.
much. Nuno, run.
Thank you.
See you.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Guys.
Bye, Valeria. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye. Bye,